So this is news and not really confession, but news to people in my blood group that is battling through some serious harm and or injuries. As of the paintings on Prozac that I had painted of a seahorse, wondering to myself why he never created it. Strange enough, I connected all the way to Big Dad on the top of the universe while painting this very painting. Years later, he wanted to show it to me, and I almost turned into one. Because the size and scale of all his children are shrunken and small, walking around planets all over the planets. Such as myself, Satan, Zach, Jeffrey, the other Joffrey, and much more, including Brian. So when it refers to who's your God, who's your actual God in my blood group, we're talking about blood group, not humans or other blood groups such as hell and other sections. But when we're talking about my blood group, obviously it's God of the universes. So any slight anger, any slight confusion, or any slight communication that does not go through, you might be battling through some serious harm and or injuries that obviously no one really sees. In French means you might think the neighbors are talking shit. You might think people are attacking you. You might think everyone's hating on you. But obviously, it's a sign that you must be doing something that he dislikes. For example, that is 1 year in 2016, talk shit element was literally all over the place. In that area. All over television, all over the place. It was so disturbing that it was something. And it obviously showed me a sign that if you're not talk shit element must be one of my friends that possibly is and was going through some serious issues. But with myself being Jane, I do not have prior memory of talk shit element being in my group of friends this life, as I do not recall meeting him, but if I did, it was most likely with Zach. So when we were talking about the wishes, the grants, the reason why I didn't post of living before you do to pray to God of the universes to every single person is the obvious. The answers back is going to be too traumatizing or way too much for other lives. And it could be very traumatizing and extremely scary. So if you're going to ask for something, make sure you know how to ask or what the correct questions are. And the most certain obvious part is if you're in my blood group, such as blood types without a negative and a positive, obviously you are God of the universe's children. So you should not be behaving a certain way and or feeling a certain way and or thinking certain things that you shouldn't think. But if you are battling through that, then obviously there are some issues that are going on that you are acting inappropriate and or improper. So it is a very long distance relationship to our creator, and it is very scary when it comes to answers, because at the moment we are very small. We are like specks on a planet compared to him. So the conversations are extremely infinite, overly infinite, that it could harm and injure us down here, because our size and our energies and things like that is not that big. So obviously when we are talking about, when I looked at an ant once, a real ant, a tiny ant, I was trying to search for their divine partner so they can just go and be somewhere. And I remember staring and say, hey, you must be divine partners, and like just some energy. And obviously the ants met and they feared each other and they felt like they were both going to kill each other. And they ran away from each other. So these very types of staring down and or looking down with anger and or confusion and or conversations could be because we are this size. So if you are experiencing severe harm and you don't know where it's from, such as severe pain and or hits and threats and attacks, even if they say someone's up on the roof with your body hitting you and you're in another world and or whatever, it's an obvious sign that it is meaning that you are doing something that is wrong, as in terms of an expectation that is not met after being told.